and understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you're going to end up making money today. So, with that being said, as we go through and take a look at the charts, take a look at everything else like that, I hope everybody's doing very well. Hopefully, everybody ended up having a good last week of trading because I did not do it on Monday, obviously, because it was a holiday for us. And we're going to talk about what ended up happening on Monday. Also, what ended up happening at the end of the week and how that's going to end up affecting everything that we're going to end up getting into starting into this week when it comes down to trading. So today's a trader's day, meaning that we don't have any high impact news that we have to be able to um, truly be able to worry about. Australia is going to end up having Governor Lowe end up speaking, but yesterday wasn't that much either. Obviously, because it was a holiday, we didn't see that much movement when it came down to the market. Tomorrow is going to end up being the last day of trading when it comes down to May. We take a look at that. China's going to end up having manufacturing PMIs. We're going to end up seeing Germany's going to end up having consumer harmonized index of consumer prices, and we're going to end up seeing President Lagarde end up speaking a little bit later on throughout that day when it comes down to everything else as well. Then after that, going into Thursday, we're going to end up having obviously high impact news. It's going to end up being it will be a Traders Day, but it does not have that momentum or does not have all of the news that you'll typically see in the first week of trading. Tuesday, we're going to end up having non-farm payrolls. Non-farm payrolls numbers are completely down. Last month it was 253,000 jobs created. This month is expected to be 195, which makes sense because it's the summertime. But something we have to pay attention to as well as we go through everything. So let's go ahead and take a look at the big three. If you're not familiar with the big three, that's the United States dollar index, that it's oil, that it's gold. The reason why we take a look at those is because it allows us to be able to know what's going on with pairs like Euro, United States dollar, and US yen, and everything else like that. It gives us a better opportunity to be able to know how the market's going to end up moving ultimately, so we can be able to make a better decision. Now, we take a look at this from a weekly standpoint because we always use time frame alignment. If you're not familiar with what time frame alignment is, that's where the weekly and the daily end up trading in the same direction. If the weekly and the daily are trading in the same direction, then we trade in that direction. If we do not have any time frame alignment, then we do not have any trades because we don't have any momentum. And like always, you don't have no momentum, then there's no trade to be able to get into. So last week when we ended up talking about this, just going based off of the weekly, market was in consolidation and broke out of this consolidation and retested, and then after that had that big move at the end of the week on this green candlestick that ended up pushing up towards that resistance of 12,993 as we expected. Now going into the start of this week, you see that the market is a little bit down. I don't know if that's just because we just had a holiday and the market's just trying to we're just trying to see what's going to end up happening based off of the holiday, or are we just looking at this as being another test of a consolidation that was rejected right here in this area, and we can see that the market basically started to push down. So that's the question that we need to figure out what's going to end up happening today. Is today going to end up being a retracement day, meaning that the United States dollar is going to end up being weak, or are we going to end up seeing a continuation of the market being able to move in the upside direction? Now, simply put, last week the market was overbought. This week the market is way overbought. You can see that from a daily perspective, we're definitely in a high zone when it comes down to the stochastic RSI, meaning that it's overbought, meaning that sellers are going to end up being in the market potentially. And we talk about from a weekly standpoint that our direction is compared to be bullish. So we had a weekly being bullish and a daily being bearish. Then that means that we have no trade to be able to take a look at when it comes down to most base pairs. I don't care if you look at it from a 2 hour perspective, anything else like that. The weekly is going up and the daily is going down and the 2 hour is going down. To me, that means that you need to wait. So don't have anything early this morning. Probably not going to have anything today when it comes down to U.S. based pairs. So I wouldn't look at U.S. based pairs overall as a pair to be able to jump into unless there's some news that we have to truly be able to pay attention to. Okay, so there we go with that. Let's take a look at oil. Oil has been in consolidation for almost a year and a half. We can see from a long-term consolidation as we've been taking a look at it from a weekly perspective inside of this box where the market resistance has been at 82.50 and the support has been at 62.70, or you can say $63 a barrel. We can say that this market has been in there since the early portions of, let's take a look at this candlestick, or better yet, let's take a look at that candlestick. Since the early portions of December of last year, the market has been inside of this consolidation. It's been that way for a while. And because of that, we haven't been trading it. Um, we traded it when the market broke out of this small area of $70 per barrel to go down to 62. But when it made this double bottom right here, this in this area, it provided us more information to know that 62.70 was the actual support. So anything in the middle of this is no trades, and quite frankly, we're going to keep that to be the same way. So oil, Canadian dollar base pair is still going to end up being off on that. We're not going to look at that for it being able to trade it, unfortunately. Let's take a look at gold. As we take a look at gold, let's see. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, cool. Okay. As we take a look at gold, gold has been on the descent. The market has been falling, went inside of consolidation, broke below consolidation to the downside, and then after that, it's finally starting to um, make a move on this counter trend line that we ended up putting out last week, and the market still hasn't broke above that overall area. Because the market is still considered to be bearish, I am going to end up saying that until the market breaks to the counter trend line break, I'm not going to end up making a move, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. But it's kind of the same thing that happened with oil. Market had a resistance, it hit the resistance, then after that, it rejected. The resistance on this one is 2070. The market ended up hitting 2070, and then after that, ended up retracing all the way down to 1950. 1950 was the bottom of this consolidation triangle that we ended up looking at before. And currently, right now, all we're seeing is that we have an explosive movement starting to move back at the top of this consolidation. If we adjust everything, we can say that this is the resistance that has to be broken right there if we're truly being safe. So still has not broken, but I want to see how the market kind of reacts to it today. Maybe we might have a counter trend line break, and then going into it tomorrow, may end up having a retest. And if we do have that, then that would be the position where I'll be kind of interested in jumping back in, but being able to jump back in based off of gold and Japanese base pairs and everything else like that, because that will end up being a strength. We know that the dollar is suspected to be weak. If the dollar is suspected to be weak, then gold is expected to go up. That's why I think we see that movement right now. The question is, are we going to continue seeing that movement going up to the upside, where we end up having this push, retest, and then after that, push back up? That is what I would be looking for. Overall, when it comes down to this movement, we can erase everything else at this particular point. Okay. From there, let's go Bitcoin. Bitcoin ended up having a very good move to the upside going into the end of the week. Um, we take a look at this from a weekly perspective. Got a lot of stuff going on this chart. Let me go ahead and get rid of some of this. So keep in mind, we've been paying attention to Bitcoin this year ever since it ended up going all the way down to 15,000. We talked about this gap that the market typically ends up having a quick blow by, or when it comes down to unfair market prices between 25,000 and 29. What ended up happening was that the market ended up pushing up, got all the way up to 30,000, rejected, and then after that went into consolidation. That's what we're looking at inside of this area right here. And we're continuing to see that this market is staying to be inside of consolidation. And maybe now this might be a new volume area until it actually ends up breaking out. Typically, you'll end up seeing that because it is summertime, we may end up seeing a little bit of a breakout early going into the summer months. And then after that, may end up just kind of stabilizing just because of travel and everything else like that. So something to be able to pay attention to. We might have to adjust this consolidation a little bit more because we are starting to see that now, that resistance is starting to be right around 30,000. 30,000 looks like it's going to end up being the number of 29,900. It's starting to be the new number of resistance. I'm going to make that blue now so y'all can be able to see it. That's purple. I'm going to make that blue now so y'all can be able to see it. Um, where that may end up being a new support. I'm still going to say 26.5 is the new resistance. I'm sorry, I'm still going to say 26.5 is the new support. And now we're looking at right around 29,900 as being the resistance before being able to make this market kind of move. So I'm going to delete this area now, and we're going to end up adjusting this consolidation area right here to this to end up being a point. 30,000 is I think 30,300 is probably the true consolidation resistance, but the market ends up breaking this position or these two highs right here, then something that we truly need to pay attention to about saying that the market could be bullish moving forward. Because of that, we're in a 33% area now. This is a R4 trading area now. That means that we're going to see consolidation. So because of that, I am now at a point to where I'm just going to end up being a innocent bystander and just watch it kind of move until we end up finding another support. Um, so I'm not going to end up making any moves off of that one. Okay, so kind of over three on that. The trade that we end up getting into made 500 points on last week with US 30. And we ended up making some points off of Nas 100 as well. Let's all here take a look at what happened with US 30. And then after that, we can kind of maneuver to other pairs. Um, you take a look at this. We've been talking about this consolidation since early portions of December. The market resistance has been at 34,400. The market support has been at 32,520 or 500. The market fell all the way down a few days ago, all the way down to um, 32,600, and then after that, start making it pop up. Currently, the market is at 33,200. So you're talking about a 700 point move to the upside. Uh, so we can consider that to be market hit support, bounce back up, and then after that started moving back up to the upside. Um, and from there, we are at a point to where this market should be bullish. Now, what will make the Dow Jones keep on moving up to the upside? There will be a couple things. The first one would be if we take a look at what's happening with the United States dollar in general. United States dollar gets stronger. United States dollar gets weaker, then that means that the indexes typically end up getting stronger. That's what ended up happening last week. Um, Now we're seeing that the United States dollar is starting to be weaker. And if the United States dollar is starting to be weaker, then that means that the index will end up being stronger. I think I said that twice. Let's try that over again. If the United States dollar is going up, the index is going up, then that means that the Dow Jones will end up going down. If the United States dollar is going down, then that means that the Dow Jones would typically end up going up. They have a negative correlation to each other that is move in the opposite directions. That's the reason why we always start off with the United States dollar index first, because if we can see what's happening with the index, then it can tell us what's going to end up happening with most other things that we're taking a look at. Okay, so with that being said, typically when I end up trading this pair and every other pair, I want to see if the market's done broken out of a daily zone of consolidation. This market is still inside of a consolidation zone. So if you're a person that does not like trading consolidation from a long-term standpoint, this is not the system to be trading overall. But the last time we ended up taking a look at it, we dug a little bit deeper to kind of figure out where this market was going to go. We've seen this consolidation that we end up having from um, May 20th to the 22nd. And then after that, we got into the sale going to the downside. The sale went to the downside for almost 3 days. And then once it ended up hitting to the downside from that 3 days, it ended up going to our take profit position of 32,830. Since then, the market has retraced and went back up to that high value node and has started to be able to make a little bit of a consolidation point itself. Um, or build out a consolidation point itself. This week, I don't think there's going to be an explosive move yet, but I do want to get your eyes to this position right here. We can see that it's not a true built out consolidation as of yet.
Daddy,
Good morning, son.
can you help me?
No, baby. You got to put on clothes. We got to get ready for school. Okay. How did you sleep?
Good.
You slept good? Okay. Take that back upstairs. Go ahead.
But this, but this needs a password.
Yeah, I know. And everybody, give me 1 second. Okay. Um, the only reason why I'm paying attention to this area because I see that there is let's see where that has been resistance 3 times that it has been um, what has been rejected right here, right here, right here. We know that that is resistance now. That resistance now 33,210. We have two supports currently right now, but there's no like major support to be able to pay attention to. And we know this is an area where the market ended up having a little bit of a free fall. This is a scalping type trade. If we're paying attention to anything, what I mean by that is this: yes, we can be able to. We'll look at being able to take a position in either way, but currently, right now, the market is showing bullish signs. If we're looking at taking a straight, I'm only looking at taking a straight back up to the point of control, or right before the point of control, if it breaks up to the upside. So it'll be a quick scalp to the upside, something like this, or if the market continues to fall back down to the downside, then the bigger trade or the trade that has the better momentum, if we're going based off of it, will be trading back down to where the market actually, where we actually end up making profit at before, as a way of being able to say, okay, well, there's another consolidation that's actually starting to be built up that we want to be able to trade that will be to the downside back down to 12,830. Stop loss will have to be a little bit higher on that one because I don't know where the market's going to end up going. But currently, right now, I'm just kind of building this out. This is not a true trade yet that we're getting into. Just don't know what's going to happen with the market. Um, I would stay away from the movement until we end up seeing what the direction is going to end up being. And also, I wouldn't look at this as being a long term movement either. Whatever trade that you end up doing, understand that this is probably going to be a better trade for scalpers getting in and just making a solid, quick move compared to going after a long term move. Plus, the market's only done been in this range for a day, and that may end up being the only reason why I may end up being in that area is just because the market wasn't open. A lot of players wasn't in the market going into um, what happened a little bit earlier. CMG, what's going on? Hope everything's going well with you. Um, Last pair, let's take a look at Nas 100, and then we'll close out today. And we'll take a look at everything else. Nas 100 went inside, broke to the upside. We had a wow. Okay, it got me. I wasn't paying attention to Nas that much. Evidently, I wasn't paying attention to Nas that much. Market ended up completing the D extension that we talked about at 13,940. Currently, the market's at 14,450, moving up to the upside. The market is clearly bullish. If we take a look at it from a daily perspective, broke out of that large consolidation zone that we ended up talking about, pushed up to the upside, completed the D extension. Now it's broken above highs even since um, ever since August of last year. So this market is truly considered to be bullish now. But now, if we take a look at where we are from a just from a trading perspective, we're getting to the higher portions of that consolidation that we end up looking at. Uh, there's going to end up being resistance from in the 14,000, the high 14,000, 14,900 to be exact. But this is the first time in a while that let's do this. I can start deleting I can start deleting some of these points. And we can start focusing back in on the higher points of where the market went to um, before the market ended up having this large plunge in early November. So the next resistance that the market will end up going up to will end up being right here in this area. will end up being up there. I got 15,124 as the next resistance. So we can say 15,150 will probably end up being the next resistance where the market's going to end up going. I would like to see this market retrace a little bit before being able to jump back in. If you can look at it, we can see that the point of control was at 13, well, basically at 14,000. The market is above 14,400. I think that because this market has made a large push up to the upside, it has to retrace a little bit, and then after that, start to be able to make a move back to the upside from there. So, from a daily perspective, I think that that's the reason why we see this small consolidation, and then after that, have that breakout. But ultimately, what I think may end up happening is that the market may end up just falling for certain, falling more, and then after that, making this push from there. Um, I still like I still like the market to the upside. I just don't like trying to jump into it right now. Okay? I still like the market to the upside. Just don't like the market where it is right now. Um, should have stayed on top of this one a little bit more if we're looking at that movement. Don't have anything to say about this one yet. I just wait until the market kind of retraces and then comes back. Um, I wouldn't personally. This is me personally. I wouldn't get food off of this move right here, where the market has already done broken the counter trend line break and started to move. Me personally, I would not look at jumping in on that. But could make a reason of being able to say because the United States dollar index is bearish that we could see a move. But me personally, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet on this one, not yet. So I'm gonna let it play itself out. We'll kind of see how it kind of moves and then go from there. If you like what I end up doing, please make sure that you end up clicking on that boost button for the people that will be watching a little bit later on. Thanks for the people that have been watching. Getting very close to that, getting very close to that 1,000 number. We'll see the market, or we'll see, obviously, you should see me a little bit more active going into the summertime, getting everything else situated. A little bit more free of being able to do that. So we'll start doing that as well. Like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade your plan. I see each and every one of y'all in the next video. We'll see everything and get started with everything going into tomorrow at 6:30 again, and then we'll go from there. All right, everybody, take it easy.